Hello, testing 1, 2, 3. We're back. We're back here. Testing 1, 2, 3. Test, test, test. I think we're back. Cool. Cool beans. We're back. Anyway, I'm back. You notice this thing on my face. This morning I had a thing on my face. It was about a quarter size big. It was removed from my face. It was not cancerous. It was benign. But the doctor said it had to go because it could spread, and it could spread into something else, and that's not what he or I wanted to have happen. So they removed it. Now, folks, if you look close enough, I have some scarring right here. Okay? I'm black and blue here, all throughout this area here. Black and blue all over. Now, I have to have this compression bandage on for at least 2 days. I have to have it on till at least Sunday, probably Sunday evening. At that point in time, I'll take it off. Then I'll keep the other bandages on for another 10 days. And after that, everything should be fine, we hope. But that's what happened today. I was in the doctor's office for almost 2 hours getting it taken care of. But I'm back. Okay, I'm back. Hey, surgery, it's good to see you, my friend. Surgery didn't have surgery, but Ron did. Crazy. Crazy. But anyway, we're back, guys. That's a good thing, we're back. I have some things I need to discuss with you. First off, we've had a major earthquake over in Papua New Guinea. Major earthquake in Papua New Guinea. This is the data on it. This has been downgraded to a 6.9. Came out as a 7.2, and that's what it was. It was actually 7.2 earthquake. Let's go over here to the USGS map. Okay, let's take down my crazy face here and our EMA banner, and let's look at this USGS map. Okay, it's unreal, guys. This is really unreal. Papua New Guinea is just north of Australia. This is a big deal. Okay, I'm going to explain where this earthquake is and why it's such a big deal. This earthquake came out as a 7.2, and USBS immediately downgraded it. Okay, they downgraded to 6.9. I'm going to tell you right now it's not a 6.9. It is a 7.2. There are dozens of earthquakes here, and USBS is only showing a handful of those. The earthquakes aftershocks are anywhere between a 5.0, 4.9, 5.1, and 5.3 earthquakes. Each and every one of them. There are two smaller earthquakes here. This is a 5.0, and this earthquake here is also a 5.0. It's unreal what USGS will get away with. Okay, this earthquake here is a 5.1. This is a 5.0. This is a 5.2 that was downgraded from a 5.3. Unreal. They're not showing even half of the aftershocks that have happened here. This was a major earthquake. Major, major earthquake. Now, let's take that down. I want to show you some other data here. Okay. Again, this was a 7.2 earthquake. USGS downgraded it immediately, which is a joke. They should never have downgraded. I'm going to show you why. Look what they have here. Look what they have showing here. Maybe let me enlarge it so you can truly see what I'm seeing here. They downgraded to 6.9, but there are 70 stations reported in it, but there's no station details. They've downgraded this. They're not showing any of the stations reporting it. None of the seismographs are reporting anything here, allegedly. 70 stations, nothing being reported. But look what they've got here. Here they're showing a 6.6 very strong earthquake. This was not a 6.6 either. They have downgraded to a 6.9, not a 6.6. Let me another 5.1 just a minute ago. Another 5.1 just a few minutes ago. Surgery says, could USBS trade things for cash or other things? Hey, the politicians are telling USBS what to do. Unreal. Uncaught picking real. Maybe it's the politicians that are paying USBS. But look what we have here. Okay? Again, they downgraded this to a 6.9. The first station they have reporting is a 6.48. Interesting. The next one is a 6.9.4. 6.94. The next one is 7.2. The next is 7.19. 6.7. 7.27. 6.24. 7.06. 6.82. 6.8. 6.36. 6.8. 7.31. 7.08 and goes on. I did not download all the stations reporting, nor all the magnitudes that those stations were reporting. This is just a handful of them. But guys, this is being reported here on the back seismologist study page as a 6.6. It was not. On the map it says a 6.9. And yet, and I showed you quite a few of those 7s that are being reported. And yet, they're trying to tell us that this was not a 7.2 or a 7.0, but a 6.9. They're completely lying about the situation. Totally lying about the situation. The other issue is this. Let me show you this. I checked the National Tsunami Warning Center here. Let me show you this. Okay? The National Tsunami Warning Center issued one alert. Okay? No tsunami threat from a distant earthquake here. Emergency managers, media, and general public here. Evaluation. An earthquake with a preliminary magnitude of 7.2 occurred in the New Britain region of Papua New Guinea at about 9:05 local time on Friday, April 4th. Based on all available data, there is no tsunami threat to American Samoa or any of the other locations from this earthquake. None. I checked. Recommended actions, no actions required. No actions required, guys. This was a 7.2 earthquake. Usually what we have here, and I'm going back here to our webcam here, is when we have a 6.5 earthquake. When we have a 6.5 earthquake, that is when the Tsunami Warning Center starts putting out feelers trying to monitor what's going on. Because a 6.5 earthquake usually does generate a tsunami. That's when the ocean floor moves. This is when the ocean floor moves like this. In this case, there was no ocean floor movement. At least that's what they want to tell us. It's very interesting, huh? It surely is. But they're trying to tell us that nothing's going on. I don't believe anything that they're saying. I'm just telling you. I do not believe anything they're saying at all. Since this hit, there have been countless numbers of aftershocks hitting this area. I showed you just some of the earthquakes that have already hit. Now, folks, let me bring up the USGS map again. Okay? I want to show you why this earthquake occurred. Let me take down my mug shot here. I want to show you why this occurred. Look where these earthquakes hit. Look where the 7.2 and all the other aftershocks hit. Off the coast. Off the coast. 185 kilometers east-southeast of Kimbe, Papua New Guinea. We've had numerous earthquakes just like this in the past. Numerous earthquakes just as powerful as this in the past in the same location. It's on the earthquake fault. It's not just an earthquake fault, it's the edge of the plate. This is the edge of the plate here. Look at it. I'm backing it out so you can see what I'm talking about. This is the edge of the plate here. This edge of the plate stretches from all the way over here into Fiji and Tonga. All the way over to Fiji and Tonga on the east. Then it stretches over here through Papua New Guinea, Papua Indonesia. All the way out here. As I've told you before, there are 7 different tectonic plates in movement here. 7 different tectonic plates in movement. That's what's going on here. This was a tectonic plate quake. This was a tectonic plate quake. The Australia-Pacific plate boundary is over 4,000 kilometers long on the northern margin. That's where this earthquake occurred, on the northeastern margin of the Australian Pacific plate boundary. Okay? The eastern section here is over 2,300 kilometers long, extending west from northeast of the Australian continent and the Coral Sea until it intersects with the east coast of Papua New Guinea. The boundary is dominated by the general northward subduction of the Australian plate. Northward subduction of the Australian plate. On the Solomon Island end of the trench, the Australian plate converges with the Pacific plate at a rate of approximately 95 millimeters per year. That is a huge distance. That is comparatively a very huge distance of movement. Again, this is a tectonic plate, and this is moving to the east-northeast. Seismicity along this trench is dominantly related to subduction, tectonic, and large earthquakes are common in this region. Seismicity along this trench is dominantly related to subduction tectonics, and large earthquakes are here. There have been 13 7.5 plus earthquakes recorded since 1900. 13 7.5 plus earthquakes recorded in this region since 1900. On April 1st, 2007, an 8.1 interplate megathrust earthquake occurred at the western edge of the trench. 8.1 earthquake on the western edge of the trench, generating a tsunami that killed at least 40 people. This was a third 8.1 megathrust earthquake event that is associated with this subduction zone in the past century. The other 2 occurred in 1939 and 1977. There have been 22 7.5 earthquakes recorded in the New Guinea region since 1900. 22 7.5 earthquakes occurred in the Papua New Guinea region since 1900. Unreal, guys. Unreal. We've had many earthquakes here around this coast and all over the world. A lot of earthquakes occurred. Look what we're showing you here. Okay, let's go over here to India. I want to show you this. Before we get to India, let's go over to Myanmar. This is not the only earthquake to hit here. There have been 22 earthquakes hit in Myanmar today. 22 aftershocks in Myanmar today. The smallest aftershock was a 3.7. Most of the aftershocks were 4.2 to 4.7 aftershocks. There are also 2 minor tremors in Myanmar. This energy that hit here just a few days ago is still moving. Still moving. It's moved north. As I said a couple days ago, I was worried that the energy would move over here to the Himalaya mountain range. It has. Seismic energies moved over here to the Himalaya mountain range. This earthquake right here, okay? This is a 5.0 earthquake. This is in Nepal. I fully expect to see more earthquakes like this and even larger. I fully expect to see more earthquakes just exactly like this, 5.0 and larger in the coming days. It's going to happen. That seismic energy is still locked up over the Myanmar and Thailand area. As it moves north, we're going to see larger quakes here in Nepal, India, and China. It's going to happen. Okay? I told you all that was going to happen here, and I was right. I was spot on. I was spot on. Now, they've taken down 6 earthquakes here. This is over on the western side of the Himalaya Mountains. What is here? We have Tajikistan, we have Pakistan, and we have Afghanistan. All of these earthquakes are 4.5, 4.7, and 4.8 here. There were 5 of them. Unfortunately, USGS just took them down. Took them down. Why? Again, they don't want us to see the energy moving. They don't want to see the energy moving here. It did. It's going to continue. We're going to continue seeing earthquakes in this region for a very long time. Over here in Myanmar, we're going to see aftershocks here for years. Years, not just months, but years. Before this happened, we might have seen 2 minor earthquakes here in a week. Now we're seeing over 20 earthquakes here just today, aftershocks. It's going to continue this way for weeks, if not years. Okay, I'm just telling you, it will happen for years. Okay, let's continue over here to the west. Okay, as I said, we had 5 earthquakes over here in this region here. This region goes down on the western side of northern India. Goes over here through Iran, and you can see the earthquake fault here. Again, the edge of the plate. What are we seeing here? Hello, hello, I'm back. I don't know why this is happening, guys. I just don't. I have no idea. What I want to talk about next is over weather here in the central United States going eastward to the East Coast. I'm going to tell you about that in a few minutes. I have a lot of information for you. Most of my information here is dealing with preparedness when we have all these earthquakes, okay, and the rain. Okay, we have a lot more going on here. Earlier this week, Iran was threatening the United States. Iran was threatening the United States because we are here in the Red Sea and the Indian Ocean. Iran doesn't like that. Iran was supplying Houthi missiles to Yemen. And the Houthis were attacking the United States military, and they were attacking other shipping companies that were over here in the Red Sea delivering product here. In one case, well, several cases, the Houthis launched these speedboats that were going over towards the shipping container ships and trying to seize the ships. They were unsuccessful on many occasions because the shipping companies had hired security people to board the ships, and when the Houthi speedboats came, the security people on the shipping container ships opened fire on the Houthis, and they quickly retreated. Now, this is ongoing. We have several aircraft carriers over here. Several aircraft carriers here in this region. With those aircraft carriers, we have a full fleet of aircraft carrier support personnel and their ships. We even have military personnel stationed here. There's something else going on as well. Iran threatened the United States. If we continue attacking the Houthis, Iran said war would be declared. And in fact, several of their military personnel came forward and said no more. No more. We're going to continue attacking. It's not going to happen. It's actually not going to happen. Let me tell you why it's not going to happen. President Trump has said that he's not going to put up with Tehran. He's not going to put up with Houthis at all. Nothing. Not going to happen. Okay? Not going to happen. President Trump has sent 22 B-2 bombers outfitted with nuclear weapons on board to a small British-controlled island here in the Indian Ocean, okay, called Diego Garcia. Those bombers are now in a position to take out Tehran and to eliminate Yemen as well. We're there. We're there. Okay? President Trump is not going to take any crap from anybody now. Not going to happen. With this happening, Tehran is put on warning. With that warning that President Trump gave Tehran, President Putin also got involved. President Putin said if we attacked Yemen or Iran, that the United States would be attacked, the United States and Britain would be attacked by Russia, and that it would be World War III, and it would become the end of days. Russia told the United States that. President Trump, like I said, moved B-2 bombers, nuclear equipped, over to Diego Garcia in the Indian Ocean. Okay? There's a small military aircraft airstrip there. A senior advisor to Iran's Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei has warned that Tehran will have no option but to go nuclear if the United States attacks Yemen or Iran. After complex discussions with Turkey and Iran about the future of Syria and Sochi, Russian President Vladimir Putin was up for a bit of tete-a-tete. And you do this and we will do that. That's what Putin said. Well, guess what? President Trump called his bluff. On board Air Force One, President Donald Trump talked about dealing with Iran in response to the Islamic Republic's continued supply of arms and support to Yemen Houthis. Iran has prepared its missile arsenal to strike U.S.-related positions in response to U.S. President Trump's threats of military actions if Houthis in Yemen continue to attack cargo ships and military ships over there in the Red Sea, in those shipping lanes. Trump's war on Houthis just got nuclear. The U.S., like I said, moved in B-2 bombers, 22 of them, within striking distance of Tehran and Yemen. Satellite recon even showed those bombers on the ground. Russian President Vladimir Putin said Russia will bomb U.S. and UK. Everyone who assists the United States in attacking Iran. Iran's biggest threat to Trump and the allies amid looming war is Russia. Russia said it will support Iran. Back about 10 years ago, without the U.S. knowing about it at the time, they've since found out about it. Russia signed a compact with Iran about 10 years ago, saying that whatever happens in Iran, Russia will come to their aid. That's exactly what's happened here. Amid escalating tensions, Iran has reportedly prepared a retaliation plan in response to potential military action from the U.S. and Britain. Now, there are British ships over here in the Red Sea. Again, the Houthis had speedboats. And one of those speedboats came to a British helicopter cruiser out there, an aircraft carrier out there. Guess what? The British opened fire on the Houthi speedboat, and they sunk it. Britain sunk the Houthi speedboat. What's going to happen there? U.S.-Iran war? What's going to happen? The U.S. has 50,000 U.S. troops in strike range. The U.S. and Iran stand on the precipice of war. According to the Telegraph, Iran's military commanders are facing calls again for war. President Trump warned Iran to back off. And guess what? That's exactly what happened. Iran finally backed off. For now, there's a ceasefire over there in the Red Sea. Yemen has said it will not attack the U.S. and they will leave the shipping lanes open for now. And the United States is going to stand by and make sure that happens. Okay? Now, I want to talk about what else is going on over there. Okay? Not just with Iran and Yemen or Russia. A lot of stuff is happening. Okay? Some of you already may know that the U.S. means business. Okay? Tesla got bombed by the left-wing idiots, supported by left-wing politicians. Tesla dealerships and private cars, owners driving those cars were trying to be intimidated. Well, the left-wing idiots tried to intimidate the people driving the Tesla cars. One such incident involved a man going after a woman that was driving a Tesla motor vehicle. He came up to her window and pounded on it. She rolled it down bare inches. And he told her she better get rid of the Tesla or else. Really? That's happened many times over the past couple of weeks. The left-wing population of this country are trying to intimidate Elon Musk and President Trump. President Trump has said that it's not going to happen anymore. And when these left-wing idiots do this, whether they key a Tesla or key anybody else's car, it's going to be considered domestic terrorism. And those people, once they're found, are going to go to jail. Those cars that are destroyed or even attempted to be destroyed, those people will be dealt with. They'll go to prison for up to 20 years. That's what's happening right now. That's exactly what's happening right now. Also, this week, regarding Doge, the Department of Government Efficiency that Elon Musk has been chairmaning since Inauguration Day. Elon Musk has discovered one man working for the Social Security Department who had access to 4 million accounts of people who had passed on. 4 million people had passed on. This one man had control of those Social Security accounts and was cashing the checks. Elon Musk and his crew found that man. Now he's under surveillance by the FBI until Elon Musk and his people get a warrant for his arrest. Then the FBI will arrest him and he'll go to prison, pending trial. The man was sending emails to himself so he would not be found out. Sending emails to himself from those various accounts, so no one would be the wiser. Elon Musk and his Doge team has shut this operation down. As I said, the man is now being watched closely and will soon be in FBI custody and in prison. Elon Musk is getting very close to coming in contact with over $1 trillion in scratchback, fraud, and government misuse. We knew it was going to happen. Fraud and abuse. Elon Musk has found it in all departments within the government. And Elon Musk and his crews are getting to the point where they can close up business in another 60 days. Elon Musk has about 90 days left in his temporary government employment status. He's not getting paid. Elon Musk is not getting paid at all. He's doing it out of the goodness of his heart to try to keep this government afloat. Because these left-wing dictator politicians tried to take this government down. They were trying to destroy this government. Elon Musk has his time left, and he believes that he has and will have things wrapped up within that time, finishing up the Doge recovery work to get the government spending back on a good standing and keep the government from going down, shutting down. And also to put Social Security on an even greater footing so that Social Security will not run out of money, and that those that receive Social Security and are veterans will continue getting their money and even get more money than they're presently getting. Elon Musk has promised that. President Trump has also promised that. Now, there is a very good possibility that millions of Americans, all of us, will receive a $2,500 Doge check by May 30th this year. Now, Congress, before they went on hiatus this week because they got mad at President Trump, got mad and refused to pass any more bills. It doesn't matter whether Congress passes a bill or not. President Trump already knows what's going on and wants to issue those checks to the American public. Said if Congress doesn't do it, he will issue an executive order. The Democrats don't want that to happen. They're trying to do everything they can to stop that from happening. They're working hard to stop President Trump's agenda. The Democrats are filing court case after court case, to keep President Trump loaded down with legal issues to stop his agenda. Also, something else that the Democrats won't tell you. Our Supreme Court has just about had it with the left-wing Democrats filing all these court cases. The Supreme Court is getting ready to issue a warning and shutting these cases down. Shutting these cases down. And those district federal attorneys may also end up in trouble if they continue going after President Trump. They'll be shut down as well. Many federal attorney generals have been let go. Many federal district attorneys have been let go because they are getting in the way of President Trump doing business. Guess what? Any president that sees these attorneys getting in the way, President Trump has a right to terminate their employment with the government. These judges who do this, who grant these cases, they're usually put in place for judges for life. But now, The Supreme Court and Congress is getting tired of it. These judges are going to face criminal penalties if they continue to do this. Now, on that same mental idea, earlier today, Senator McConnell was seen outside the Capitol in his wheelchair, being taken out of his wheelchair and placed in a waiting SUV. He could be seen not talking to anyone or taking questions from even relentless reporters that were on the scene, all over him, shouting questions at him. He did not respond. It appears that Senator McConnell, the former senator in charge of our Senate, he's not even responsive. Not responsive. Just like Biden was. It was said by Biden's aides and even doctors that worked for Biden. They said that Biden was only lucid from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And after that, he was not any good to anybody. We saw Biden being led around by his hand by his wife, Jill, and by Barack Obama. In one case, Biden went walking towards a different area off stage after a speech. Then President Obama came from out behind the stage and came out and took Joe by the arm and led him off stage to a different direction. Because Biden didn't know where he was from one day to the next. McConnell's the same way. Senator Feinstein, until she passed a short time ago, was the same way. She was wheeled in a wheelchair to the Senate. She was told by her aides how she should vote, and they even picked up her hand to cast votes for her. It's incredible what these Democrats will do just to hold power. Just to hold power here. Okay? Incredible. McConnell's doing the same thing. He's been wheeled around, showed how to vote, and then pushed out of the Senate into a waiting vehicle. Incredible. It may be said that McConnell, like Senator Feinstein, was not coherent, being helped to do things that she was incapable of doing for herself. McConnell and Feinstein have been totally incoherent, just like Biden was. Their constituents need to make sure that these senators that are in that position, and even a woman in Texas, who is in a senior center, incoherent, doesn't even know her name. She's in a memory facility, doesn't even know her name, and yet she's being paid by her constituents to be there. Still a sitting senator. The constituents of these senators and congressmen need to be made aware that those people can no longer be there and end their voting cycle. And that goes along with another idiot called Pencil Neck Adam Schiff. He's now a senator. He was a congressman from San Francisco. Now he's a senator. He got let go by the Congress because he was inept, filing false documents. He was censured by the Congress. So he left Congress and ran for Senate, and he was elected as a senator. Now he's doing the same thing in the Senate. I hope and pray that his constituents in San Francisco during this next voting cycle in 2025 will get rid of him. Take him out and put somebody in there that will do the job. Incredible. Incredible. Anyway, let me talk about the rain and thunderstorms. That's what I was originally going to do after we talked about the earthquakes. Okay? Let me tell you about that. Okay? Heavy rain has produced a very colorful map. Most of us have seen it. We expect to continue this and potentially even more. Even more. Now, what's going on. Rain is coming in from the Midwest. We've seen rain in western Texas, in Oklahoma, Missouri, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Tennessee, Kentucky, Indiana, and Ohio. And that rain and storm system is moving east. We've even had some storm systems coming in here to North Carolina. Today it's 80 degrees. 80 degrees. Go figure. Wednesday we had storm systems coming through here. Even the possibility of a tornado, but that didn't happen. Heavy rain was here. That rain is now in Virginia and West Virginia. Rain is in the forecast to continue in West Virginia into Sunday, which can continue to cause flash flooding in low-lying areas, flooding and river flooding as well. The National Weather Service meteorologist Simone Lewis, good man, said all three of those things are possible. Heavy rain, flash flooding low areas, and even thunderstorms, spinning up tornadoes. Okay? Now, with everything going on, it's already happening. It's already happening. Now, these weather systems are getting most of their moisture from the south, coming out of the Gulf of Mexico. Heavy rain produced a colorful map today. Incredible. Heavy thunderstorms are continuing. Continue to move in here to North Carolina, South Carolina, from Georgia, going up into Virginia. We expect a continuation of this and potentially the worsening of conditions in some spots as we go through time this weekend. Flash flooding has been reported in parts of Logan, Lincoln, Mingo, Wayne, and Boone counties. A general flood warning is in effect until 12:45 p.m. tonight. Boone, Braxton, Calhoun, Clay, Fayette, Gilmer, Jackson, Kanawha, Lincoln, Nicholas, Putnam, and Roane counties. Heavy thunderstorms and atmospheric turbulence is going to continue through at least tomorrow. There are 23 counties under a flood watch into Sunday morning. Now, meteorologist Lewis said that the cumulative total of the rain will have an impact. Both the combination of what's already occurring and the fact that the ground is fully soaked. We have even more precipitation on the way into Sunday evening. Conditions could get phenomenally worse. Conditions could get phenomenally worse. Unreal. It's continuing, guys. It's continuing. Let me show you part of the storm here. Look at this. Mid-Fork Underpass in Logan, Virginia. This was this morning. Look at the water here completely flooding out this area. And then something else here. Let's look at a post office here, completely flooded out, surrounded by mud. A U.S. post office surrounded by mud. Nobody can even get near it. Nobody can get near it. The frontal boundary that is settled above West Virginia is expected to move into Ohio Saturday, providing a few hours of dry weather. But once we get into those afternoon and evening hours on Saturday, the frontal boundary is going to come right back towards us. And we're looking at showers and storms increasing once again. It's going to rain well into Sunday evening. President Trump has approved a major disaster declaration for Southwest Virginia communities that have been hit by flooding ever since Hurricane Elaine. The disaster declaration, which opens up federal aid, was for public assistance only. Individual assistance provides funding to eligible individuals and households that have sustained losses and replacing public facilities and infrastructure. additional funding from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, and new state funding agreed to by the governor and the General Assembly this week, also available for people and for improving and rehabilitating infrastructure. Governor Youngkin of Virginia said, "I am grateful to President Trump and the entire administration for moving forward in their approval of the major disaster declaration. We will continue to seek every recovery resource necessary to support Virginians that have been adversely affected and impacted by these storms. I am committed to assist those with immediate needs to ensure their health and safety of survivors, and we will continue our efforts to seek opportunities to rebuild these communities." Following several days of heavy rain, storms hit since February. These storms have been relentless and been hitting since February, destroying homes, washing out roads, and leaving thousands without power. I checked the U.S. power outage map. Only some places in Michigan and Wisconsin are now without power. The rest of the United States has been returned to power operations. Okay? But as much as 7 inches of rain have fallen over some parts of southwestern Virginia, resulting in flash flooding, closed roads, and mudslides. One man has died after being swept away by high water in Bland County. 90 homes have major damage. 18 homes have been destroyed. More rain is on the way through this coming weekend. As much as another 10 to 15 inches of rain is expected. This is according to the Virginia Department of Emergency Management and FEMA. So many homes and businesses have been destroyed or damaged by both Hurricane Helene and these storms since February. Floods are still ongoing. Rain is still coming down. Like I said, they are expecting another 10 to 15 inches of rain, and the ground is already sopped full. So we're going to have flooding. Unreal. Pico is here in the chat saying, "Feel so sorry for these terrible storms destroying lives. For the victims. Not fun for sure," Dawn said. I agree. When you're praying for everybody, please don't forget these people. Also here in North Carolina as well. There was a body of a man found over near Boone, North Carolina, yesterday. Found next to the riverbank. It's unfortunate. Very unfortunate. I have a feeling we're going to see more bodies just like that in the coming days. Federal assistance formulas for determining disaster aid are flawed. We are calling on Congress to reconsider and revising those formulas to be able to help everyone. Storms in the Midwest and South could unleash deadly floods, strong tornadoes in the coming days. Forecasters are warning of potentially deadly flash flooding and strong tornadoes as more and more rounds of thunderstorms are poised to strike parts of the Midwest, South, and East today and into this weekend. Thunderstorms with multiple rounds of heavy rain are expected in parts of Texas, the lower Mississippi Valley, and Ohio that began midweek this week they're going to last through at least tomorrow. Forecasters are warning that these storms could track over the same areas repeatedly over and over and produce heavy rain and dangerous flash floods, are capable of sweeping cars away. These dangerous flash floods are capable of sweeping cars away. Parts of Arkansas, West Tennessee, Western Kentucky, Southern Indiana are especially at high risk for flooding. Rain totaling up to 15 inches, 38 centimeters is forecast over the next 7 days in northeastern Arkansas. The southeast corner of Missouri, western Kentucky, and southern parts of Illinois and Indiana. Rainfall could once again be a quarter of a century event Rainfall in these areas could be, once again, a quarter-century event. Every 25 years, it seems. We're potentially looking at about 2 months of rain in just a handful of days. 2 months of rain in a handful of days. And that's just in Little Rock. Little Rock is getting hammered. Little Rock's monthly rainfall average for March is just under 5 inches, 12.7 centimeters. The rainfall that eastern and northeastern Arkansas could see is something only expected once every 25 to 50 years. The copious amount of rain in the forecast is rare. Moisture coming in from the Gulf of America is boosting the rainfall, and the amount of precipitation from these thunderstorms could release even more. Now, you need to be ready. You need to be ready. Today we had a meeting with the Earthquake Center of the U.S. Our Earthquake Center said everybody needs to be prepared for flooding. Everyone needs to be prepared for flooding. The heaviest rains are forecast to fall in the New Madrid seismic zone. In the New Madrid seismic zone. Researchers are constantly monitoring this earthquake activity in the nation's most active region for earthquakes east of the Rockies. Centered in southeastern Missouri, the seismic zone extends to several nearby states, including Arkansas, Tennessee. The New Madrid seismic zone is famous for a series of powerful earthquakes in 1811 and 1812, December 1811 and January 1812. And that these earthquakes that hit there were felt over a large part of the Midwest and over even into the South and the East Coast. Experts are saying another devastating earthquake in this region is possible very soon. That's coming from the National Center for Earthquakes. Scientists have said they have learned lessons from Mississippi River flooding, and to be very vigilant where they can locate monitoring equipment. They're being very vigilant where they locate seismic monitoring equipment. They don't want it damaged by floods. They don't want it damaged by the earthquake tipping it over. Speaking with a man named Mitch Withers. He's a research professor at the Center for Earthquake Research and Information at the University of Memphis. About 70 stations in the area should be protected from flooding. And we will still be getting our data monitoring for earthquakes. On Wednesday, President Trump also echoed that. The Center for Earthquake Information over there in Memphis has gotten an okay from President Trump to make sure that earthquake seismic stations are going to be protected and or replaced. So we will know exactly what is going on in the New Madrid seismic zone no matter what. Okay? That's that. That's that. We have stood down our roles for war over in Yemen and Iran for right now. But we're not relinquishing our responsibility in the Middle East. Our aircraft carriers and their task forces are still there. If anything breaks out, look out. Look out. Each one of us, I keep telling everybody here, I keep advising and reminding everybody here to be prepared. Be prepared for anything. Be prepared for anything that could happen, because it will. It will happen. Now, those of you that don't think it's going to happen, guess what? I think you're in for a very mighty awakening. Let's go back to these storms for a little while. We talked about flash flooding, heavy rainfall. We're going to continue to see that over in the Midwest, going down into the New Madrid seismic zone, going all the way to the East Coast. Okay? The entire southeast is under a warning. Flash flooding is occurring or about to occur. When you get a flash flood warning, you need to seek ground immediately. You need to seek higher ground immediately. Flood watches are just that, to be aware of what's going on around you, to keep your eyes out for any changing weather conditions. Flash flood watch. When a warning occurs, that means you need to take action, and take action now to protect yourself. Okay? These watches and warnings could be issued for different types of flooding. Coastal or river flooding. The National Weather Service forecast centers are issuing river flood advisories and forecasts to the public. During periods of heavy flooding, these forecasts inform the public about the height of the flood crest. The height of the flood crest. How high the water is going to go. The date and time that the river or creek are expected to overflow their banks. And the date and time that the flow of river is expected to recede back within its banks. The U.S. Geological Survey and the National Weather Service are supposed to be working together during a flood to collect and use the most up-to-date data and operate forecasts as new information is acquired. For more information on the river forecast centers and the current observed river conditions, go to www.water.weather.gov. Let me repeat that. To find out more information on river forecast centers and current observed river conditions, go to www.water.gov/AHPS/RFC/PHP. Let me repeat that. www.weather.gov www.water.weather.gov/HAPS/RFC/RFC.PHP. If the danger is significant, local authorities may issue an evacuation notice to alert residents that flooding will be occurring or is already occurring. It's very important to leave the area when you're told to leave. If you decide to stay, you're taking your own life and the life of your family in your own hands. If someone dies, you could be prosecuted. Evacuation orders vary by state and community. These may range from voluntary to mandatory evacuation. When authorities issue a mandatory evacuation, when they issue that notice, leave the area immediately. Protect yourselves today means having sources for information, preparing your home or workplace, developing an emergency communications plan. How many times have we talked about that? Developing an emergency communications plan and knowing what to do when a flood is approaching your home or business. Taking action today can save lives and save property. Know your flood risk. Know your flood risk. If you go over to FEMA on the government website, they have really good flood warnings and very good flood information, hazard information. Go over there and look for it. There's a lot of good information there. Okay? Know your flood risk. Learn whether you live, work, or even travel through areas that are prone to flooding. The Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, creates flood maps, flood insurance rate maps, or what they call FIRMs, to show the locations of high risk, moderate to low risk, and determine risk areas. To check your flood risk, enter your address at www.floodsmart.gov, www.floodsmart.gov /floodsmart /pages /flooding space flood space risks, not just risk, but risks, RISKS /defining space flood space risks .jsp. Again, floodsmart.gov /floodsmart /pages /flooding space flood space risks /defining space flood space risks .jsp. According to the National Flood Insurance Program, the NFIP, more than 25% of all flood claims every year come from homes outside areas of high risk for flooding. 25% of them come from places that wouldn't normally be flooded. To participate in the NFIP program, the National Flood Insurance Program, local communities must adopt floodplain management. Floodplain management. In other words, the communities must assess whether you live in a floodplain and what you're going to do about it. Okay? They must adopt floodplain management regulations that may and must meet or exceed minimum requirements. They must meet or exceed minimum requirements. Knowing how to stay informed. Knowing how to stay informed is one step of the battle. Receiving timely information that can make or break you. Receiving timely information can make or break you. Because if you don't receive timely information, you might not survive, and your family might not survive. You need to have timely information. We try to keep you informed of what's going on. I show you my AM/FM weather radio here. It's working. I also have my police scanner, always on the weather channel locally, so I know what's going on. I advise each and every one of you to do the same. If you don't have an AM/FM weather radio, when you have a storm going on, tune your radios to a news talk station. Tune your radios and your TVs to a news talk station. News, weather, and sports on the channel. If you tune it to HGTV or some music station, you're not going to give the weather information. Tune your televisions and your radios to a news talk station. If there's an emergency, they will put out the critical weather and important health and safety information. Okay? Know how to stay informed. Know how to stay informed. Doing all this can make the difference whether you're going to be able to take action and be safe or die. Monitor the weather reports provided by your local news media. Many communities have text or email alerting systems for various emergency notifications. Many communities have their own text and email alerting systems for emergency information. To find out what alerts are available in your area, do an internet search with your town, city, and or your county name and the word alerts. To find out what alerts are available in your area, do an internet search with your town name, your city name, or county name, and the word alerts, ALERTS. consider buying that NOAA weather radio like I have. Like this. Okay? It's an all-hazard receiver here. It's an all-hazard receiver. Receive broadcast alerts directly from the National Weather Service. I have it tuned to the channel locally, where it will get the broadcasts. In an emergency involving political stress going on, the Weather Service will turn over the frequency to the government emergency people. So you will get government-related emergency information from this frequency. You can purchase these radios at many retail outlets around this country. All over. You need to take action now. Protect yourself before flood happens. You need to know about other alerts and evacuation notices. We've continued to talk about this over and over and over. Know the alerts and evacuation notices. Keep your eye tuned to this. Keep your eye tuned to this, guys. It'll save your life. It will save your life. Renee Steffi says tornado warning, Cave City, Cushman, and Evening Shade, Arkansas, until 7:30 p.m. Central Time. Kimberly Ann Shirka says a Secret Service agent in distress. I have not heard that. Kimberly, do you have any information on that, or do you have a link that you can put up where I can go to that link and get everybody the information? I hold Secret Service and FBI in high esteem. If there's a Secret Service agent in distress, guess what? I want to be there to help them. I will get them all the help that they need. Kimberly Ann Sugar says Ultraviolet Universal Platinum Super Soldier Warden Chancellor. I've never heard of it. Never heard of it. Now, there is such a thing that FEMA has put up as America Prepared-a-thon. America Prepare-a-thon. Ready.gov /prepare outlets such as electronics and big box stores or online. Some NWR receivers are designed to work with external notification devices with visual and vibrating alerts for people who are deaf or hard of hearing. For more information on those receivers, visit NWS, NationalWeatherService.gov, NWS.NOAA, NOAA.gov /NWR /NWR RCVR.HTM # programming. Okay? National Weather Service NWS.NOAA.gov /NWR /NWR RCVR.HTM # programming. Think about how you will stay informed if there's a power outage. I've spoken about this before. You need to have extra batteries in your home. Extra batteries to power battery-operated radios, your cell phone even, a charger. A charger. Folks, I have a simple charger here. My simple charger here can charge cell phones from a solar device. Let me show you this. I got this from 4 Patriots. I got this years ago from 4 Patriots. Notice the solar panel on it. Okay? I can put it in the windowsill here and charge it. I can also have a clip on this right here. I can clip it to my backpack so I can charge my cell phones. At the bottom right here, it has a space to charge 2 cell phones at a time. When Hurricane Helene hit last September, Carol and I had our power knocked out for almost 2 days straight. We charged our cell phones 3 times. We charged our cell phones 3 times with this solar-powered, battery-powered device. Okay? Think how you're going to stay informed. Have extra batteries, a battery-operated radio, and your cell phone. Consider getting a hand crank radio like I have, or a cell phone charger like I have. You can use the U.S. government's water alert system as well. USGS water alert system. http://maps.waterdata, one word, waterdata.usgs.gov /mapper, MAPPER, /water alert, WATERALERT, to receive text or email messages when a stream in your area is about to overflow its banks or rising to flood levels. Know your evacuation routes. Again, write an emergency preparedness plan. Write a preparedness plan. Okay? Have your evacuation routes. I have always been telling everybody, have at least 3 evacuation routes and have also 3 different destinations you could go to in an emergency. If you cannot shelter in place in your home, have 3 evacuation routes. Stay off main roads. Use service streets. Stay off main roads and use service streets. Have 3 evacuation routes to get to 3 different locations. 3 different locations, and scout those locations out before there's an emergency. That way, during an emergency, if one location fills up, you have 2 others to go to. Plan your evacuation routes and plan your destinations as well. The safest way to survive a flood is to evacuate the area if advised to leave. The same thing is true of a fire. Evacuate the area if you are asked to leave, to ensure you will be able to act quickly should the need arise. You need to plan ahead. You need to plan ahead. My buddy Don Patoga, who's one of my best friends and a mod here in the chat, said hope is not a strategy. However, the foundation for action. Prepare for what surely must be and is to come. Ask for divine guidance of the still small voice in order to succeed and even thrive. That's good advice. That is very good advice. Know your community's local flood evacuation plan. If you don't know it, go to your emergency manager's office or go to your city and ask someone in your city where you can find your city or county's local flood evacuation plan, and identify from that several escape routes for your location. If roads are blocked, include plans to evacuate people with disabilities and others with access and functional needs, pets, service animals, and livestock. Don't leave your pets behind. When I first started talking about this years ago, I had some lady on our chat that said she would leave her pets behind because her children are more important. No, guess what? Your children and your pets are equally important. You need to take all of them with you. You need to take all of them with you. Never let me find you leaving your pets behind. Number 1, in most cities and counties throughout the United States and around the world, if you do that, you're going to jail. If you leave your pets behind and they are in a hard way or they lose their life, you could go to jail. Don't do it. And if I find you, I may kick your butt. Yeah, I could kick your butt. Don't do it. I've seen dogs treading water in a kennel. Dogs treading water in a kennel in New Orleans. The owners left their pets outside in a kennel. Their food was gone in the flood. The water overturned their feed bowl, so they had no feed. They had water, but they were swimming in it, and the water was tainted. These dogs that we found were severely malnourished because they've been treading water for who knows how many days. Coast Guard boats found them. Coast Guard boats found those dogs. We fed them. We got them fresh water. We put them on board our boats and took them to safety. Don't ever let me find dogs or any other animals left in that condition. Don't do it. Know your local community's flood evacuation plan. Identify several escape routes for your location. If the roads are blocked, include plans to evacuate people with disabilities and others with functional and access needs, pets, service animals, and livestock. If you will evacuate by car, keep your car fueled and in good condition. Keep emergency supplies and a change of clothes in your car. If you'll need to share transportation, make arrangements now. If you need to share transportation, make arrangements now. Renee Sevi says a possible tornado between Cave City and Batesville, waiting verification. Unreal. It's ongoing, guys. If you will need to use public transportation, including paratransit, contact your local government emergency management agency to ask how an evacuation will work. Ask how an evacuation will work and how you can get current information and other information as well. And find a local area where they're staging the areas. Okay? Get current information during an evacuation and the location of staging areas and other information. Okay? If you need to relocate for an extended period of time, identify a place away from home. Identify a place away from home now where you could go if you had to leave. As I said, I would identify at least 3 different locations, as well as plan out 3 different evacuation routes to get to any one of those locations. Consider family or friends who live outside your local area. Consider family or friends who live outside of the local area. If you expect to go to a shelter after evacuating, download the American Red Cross Shelter Finder app. Download the American Red Cross Shelter Finder app. This app displays open American Red Cross shelters and provides the capacity and the current population of each shelter. You're going to need that. Canadian Patriot says he would leave his adult kids behind, but he would never leave his dogs. I would take my wife and my dogs. My adult kids are on their own right now. But if they were ever here, I would take them with us. I would not abandon them. Renee Stevie says, Cave City, get in your safe space now. You have an incoming tornado. Cave City people, get in your safe space now. Okay? Now you can also visit redcross.org/mobile-apps/shelter-finder-app. You can also text shelter plus your zip code to 43362. 43362. 4 FEMA. 4 FEMA to find the nearest shelter in your area. If you have pets and you plan to go to a shelter, call to inquire whether the shelter can accommodate your pets. Shelters will accept service animals. Most shelters nowadays will accept animals almost of any kind. The larger animals, they have a separate area such as fairgrounds for larger animals. Practice how you will communicate with family members. In a dangerous situation, your first thoughts will be the safety of your family and your friends. In case you're not together, when authorities issue a flood watch or a flood warning, practice how you will communicate with each other. Remember that sending text is often faster than making a phone call. I would also tell you this: stay off your phones. Stay off your phones. Use text messaging only. Let the authorities, let the first responders have the bandwidth to be able to talk on the phone. Use text messaging only. Okay? Keep important numbers written down in your wallet, not just on your phone. I have them written down on a wallet. I have them written down in my planner. And that planner is in our emergency preparedness kit. Okay? It's sometimes easier to reach people outside of your local area during an emergency. So choose an out-of-town contact for all family members. Choose an out-of-town contact for all family members to call or use social media. Decide where the members of your household will meet after the flood, fire, or other emergency. Have a meeting place. Have the meeting place and make sure that everybody knows where it is. Okay? You can also visit ready.gov /make-a-plan for instructions on developing a household communication plan. Practice that plan. Practice makes perfect. Practice makes perfect. Practice first aid skills and emergency response actions. Take training classes. Take CPR classes, take first aid classes, or any other class that might help you react during an emergency. Okay? Have a person on the scene that provides first aid assistance. You may want to take first aid classes as well. Have a person on the scene in your home, in your area, that can provide first aid assistance. Before professional help arrives, you may be the only thing that they see. You may be the only first aid or emergency service anybody sees. Why is that? Because first responders may be tied up for days, not just hours. First responders, police, fire, and medical personnel, they're going to go to the worst places available. They're going to be going to the worst places available. They may not get to you for days or weeks. Okay? Just saying. I've seen it happen. You might be the only first aid person around. Take a first aid class. Learn and practice response skills so you know what to do. Every year, 3 million people gain the skills they need to prepare for and respond to emergencies through the American Red Cross training classes, including first aid, automated external defibrillator, AED, and cardiopulmonary resuscitation, CPR. You can visit www.aha.org AmericanHeartAssociation.org to find out more about classes in your area. www.redcross.org. Take-a-class to find out about classes in your area. Download the American Red Cross app. Okay, do that. Community Emergency Response Team, CERT. Those of you that know me, I have been a CERT instructor for a very long time. I've taught I don't know how many first aid classes. I've taught how many, who knows, how many CPR classes and first aid classes. I used to teach them all the time. Hundreds of classes. I've graduated hundreds of people. Take a CERT training program. Take a Community Emergency Response Team class. It might be a week-long class. It could be for 4 evenings a week for an entire week. I used to have it for 4 evenings a week for an entire week and one whole Saturday. Okay? In those CERT classes, you're going to receive basic response skills training. How to train other community members and make them just like you. You're going to receive CERT, basic training, educating individuals about disasters and disaster preparedness, for hazards and hazard response. This will make and affect your area. These classes, these CERT people know exactly about your area. And if you join those teams, you can get those classes and training you need to be able to deal with whatever happens in your area. Okay? The CERT team trains people in basic disaster response skills, fire safety, light search and rescue, team organization, and disaster medical operations. Visit www.FEMA.gov community-emergency-response-teams to find your own local program. Store supplies. Store supplies. During an emergency, supplies will dry up in stores. You will not be able to get emergency supplies in stores. Those supplies will be long gone. Make sure you start right now. Make sure you have them right now. Grab what you can quickly so you can have those supplies you need to evacuate your home. Make sure your car is full of gas. Know in advance what else you're going to need to take. Take time now to make a list of the things you would need or want to take with you if you have to leave your home. Store the basic supplies in a go bag. Store basic supplies in a go bag. A couple weeks ago we talked about go bags. You can put those supplies in other containers as well. Carol and I have a backpack. We also have several other emergency containers we have. Bins. Emergency bins. Okay? Store the basic emergency supplies in a go bag or bin. Be ready to grab those essential items quickly before leaving, including jugs of water like we have. Okay? Remember, include these special items for people with disabilities and people with access and functional needs as well, such as older adults, children, and those with limited English proficiency. For official list of supplies for your emergency kit, www.ready.gov/build-a-kit. Last week I gave you 2 different classes on what you need to have in your preparedness kit. Go back through our titles of our programs for the past 2 years of this present channel. Go back through the last 2 years of classes we taught here. Go to the title. If it says emergency or emergency preparedness or anything like that, go to that video and watch it. You're going to need that information. That's why you keep it here on YouTube. I want to make sure you have that information. Okay? Please do that. Please do that. When you're making a list, consider the 5 P's of evacuation. Store personal needs, priceless items. Evacuation, store personal needs, priceless items. Personal needs such as clothes, food, water, first aid kit, cash, phones, and chargers. Items for people with disabilities and others with excess skills or functional needs, such as older adults, children with disabilities or functional needs. You might also have family members that have English proficiency problems. Make sure those people that you have in your family are not left behind at all. Take them with you. Help them work through the problems that are in your face. They need the help as well. Do not leave them behind. Include pictures and irreplaceable mementos and other valuables. If safely possible, pets and other animals and livestock, prescriptions with dosages, medicines, medical equipment, batteries or power cords, eyeglasses, guys. Don't forget your spectacles. Hearing aids. Those of you that have hearing aids, make sure you have your hearing aids and make sure you have backup batteries. You're going to need that. Paperwork, including important documents, hard copies and electronic copies as well. Make sure you save those copies on external hard drives or even portable thumb drives. Portable thumb drives such as this. People, prescriptions, and papers. People, prescriptions, and papers. Go there. Go there now. Review your homeowners or renters insurance policies. Prepare or update your list of your home's contents. Prepare or update your list of your home's contents. You're going to need it. Take pictures or video of each room of your home. Make sure you don't forget anything. Make sure you don't forget anything. Make a video or just take pictures of everything in your home. Make sure you keep that. Okay? Keep it. Every home and business can and will sustain significant damage. You're going to need to access insurance, rental, or mortgage insurance, and make sure you have that information in your emergency supply kit. During the recovery, you may also have to have access to personal information, such as medical information. Don't forget that. Don't forget your prescriptions. Don't forget your warranties on medical equipment. Your emergency financial first aid kit. Again, your emergency financial first aid kit, your EFFAK, can help you identify the records you're going to want to keep safe. This document is available online. www.FEMA.gov/media library /assets/documents/29791. Store your records safely. Store your records safely. Make sure you have them on hard disk or flash drive. Keep these flash drives and hard disks safe and dry. Okay? Keep it out. Keep it with you. Okay? Back up everything. Back up everything. Make sure it's in a fireproof, waterproof box, or store files using a secure cloud-based service. Or put your documents, your files, in one of those gallon-sized Ziploc bags like Carol and I do. It'll do wonders. Protect your property and manage your risk. Take steps now to protect your property from flood damage or any other kind of damage. Talk to your insurance agent about buying flood insurance. Flood insurance is available for hurricanes, tornadoes, rains, and floods. Flood insurance is available for homeowners, renters, and business owners. Because homeowners insurance policies do not typically cover flood-related issues, you're going to need to purchase separate flood insurance if your property is at risk for flooding. If your property is susceptible for flooding, you probably won't be able to get your home covered by flood insurance policy. Okay? Visit floodsmart.gov /floodsmart/pages/flooding _flood_risk s/defining _flood_risk.jsp. Okay? That will give you a good idea of what flood insurance may cost for your property. A policy purchased today may not be available for 30 days. You need to be aware of that as well. Okay? Now, you might also do this. Elevate your heater. Elevate your heating surface, your furnace, your hot water heater, and electrical panel if the location is susceptible to flooding. Install check valves. Install check valves in sewer lines to prevent flood water from backing up the drains in your home. You don't want to have the sewer back up in your home. Take precautions for that as well. Do you guys have any questions? One of the things we used to do in North Dakota when we had floods in the spring, my dad would buy these great big huge cork drain stoppers in the downstairs drains of our homes in the basement. He used to take his sledgehammer and pound those cork plugs into holes in our basement floor. That way sewage is not going to back up. Okay? Consider doing that. Renee Steffi says tornado warnings continue for Chaffee, Missouri, Marble Hill, Missouri, Advanced, Missouri until 8 p.m. tonight, Central Time. Tornado is observed. Okay? Waterproof your basement. Sump pumps with battery backup. If you live in a flood-prone area, stockpile emergency building materials, plywood, plastic sheeting, lumber nails, a hammer and a saw, and a pry bar, some shovels and sandbags. You're going to need them. You're going to need them. Now, I've talked about just about everything I can talk about when it comes to flooding and ascertain your hazards. Only you can do that. Only you can do that. Go to your city or your county emergency management agency. Go to your city and county and ask for those things. They will give you the information. They will give you the information. Any questions? Do you have any questions for me? Now, I know I've talked a lot about flooding. I've talked about tornadoes. I've talked about rivers overflowing their banks. I've talked about fires in the past. You need to be very much aware of what's going on, because everything that we talked about tonight can happen. Joe Shinapaz says Cave City Arc was hit the other day. Now another in the area. Unreal. Now, Don Patoka just said something that's important I want to share with you. The government is reactive, not proactive. Our government, I don't care whether it's state, local, or federal, our governments are reactive, not proactive. Now, they are supposedly responsible for the defense of the whole darn country, even our defense. Don't count on it. Don't count on it. You may have to take matters into your own hands, but be careful. Know the law. Know the law and be responsible. Be responsible. Any questions? P. Coy says, thank you, Ron. I appreciate that too. Thank you. Folks, if you will, please give us a thumbs up before you leave our program tonight. We'd surely appreciate it. Also, please consider giving us not just a thumbs up, but also go over here and you can donate to our super chat here on YouTube and give us a super thanks as well. Also, in the top of our program description, you're going to see 2 PayPal locations and a Venmo location. You can go there and give us donations there as well. Also consider this. All night long, you've seen a scrolling going on at the bottom of your screen. You've seen our email address go through there. rltnspdema@gmail.com. If you have questions or comments or concerns, send me an email. Or if you have questions and concerns, or you have something that you need discussed with the population of our family, send it to me, and I will discuss it open on the air. Okay? Second, also, we have our address here. Our address here is 504 Bethel, Bethel Road, Box 401, Morganton, Morganton, North Carolina. The zip code here is 28655. Consider how you're going to help support us. You can send a letter to us or a card, and in the middle of that letter, put a donation in the middle of the letter. That way the letter itself hides your donation so nobody sees it from the outside. You can also see a card and have your donation in the middle of the card so nobody can see it. We'd appreciate that. Carol does especially. Carol loves cards and letters from all of you. She loves that. Make her happy. Send us a card and letter. Let us know how you're doing preparedness-wise. Tell us. We'd appreciate that a lot. It takes money to operate this program. I just paid another bill for bandwidth for this program so I can broadcast. I spend $253.62 every month for bandwidth to broadcast this program. I would appreciate any support you can give us. It would be greatly appreciated. Okay? Thanks for that. Thank you for that. Carol and I appreciate all your love and prayers as well. It means a great deal to us. It really does. We talked about a lot of things that are going on. Please pray for the people that are experiencing these weather events. Pray for them. God will help make them safe. God bless us, guys. God bless us. Folks, I mean that. I have a testimony of Jesus Christ himself. I love him. I love Jesus Christ. I'm going to share a scripture with you. The scripture comes from Ephesians. Ephesians chapter 5. I'm going to share verses 5 and 6 here. For this you know that no whoremonger, nor unclean person, nor covetous man, who is an idolater, hath any inheritance in the kingdom of Christ and of God. Let no man deceive you with vain words, for because of these things cometh the wrath of God upon the children of disobedience. Please, folks, remember that. God wants to protect you. God wants you to know that he loves you. Even Christ gave us information through his apostles. Consider the scriptures yourself. Put your name in the scripture when you're reading it. Make sure that scripture applies to you. Brothers and sisters, I love you. If anything happens tonight, we'll be back on the air tonight to tell you about it as soon as the information becomes available. The same thing tomorrow. We are going to be involved in a church conference from 12 noon to 2 p.m. and from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. If something happens outside those hours, we will be back on the air to tell you about it. On Sunday, we'll be broadcasting our Sunday school class at 2 p.m. only this Sunday. 2 p.m. this Sunday, we'll be broadcasting our weekly Sunday school class called Come Follow Me, the Savior Said. I hope you're there with us. We'd appreciate that. God bless you all. God be with you. Renee Seppi's reporting another tornado in Delta, Missouri. Delta has been hard hit, guys. Delta has been hard hit. God bless all of you. God bless those people who are in harm's way. God be with you. God be with you until we meet again. I hope you guys know what you're doing. We're here for you. We are here for you. God be with you until we meet again. We'll see you on the other side. Have a good night, everybody. Much love.